All right, today we're jumping into a design problem that is, frankly, mind-boggling. We're talking about how to send a message to a future so distant we can't even begin to imagine what it'll be like.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with a puzzle. A puzzle that, believe it or not, governments and scientists have spent a ton of time and brain power trying to solve. And this isn't just some fun little thought experiment, you know? This is a really, really crucial piece of unfinished business left over from the atomic age. So that number, 10,000 years. Why that number? Well, that's the absolute minimum amount of time that some of our nuclear waste sites are going to stay dangerously radioactive. I mean, so radioactive that it's lethal to anything that gets near it. It's a timescale that just completely dwarfs all of human history.
So how do you warn people across a chasm of time that big? I mean, a simple keep out sign it's just not going to cut it. Think about it for a second. Our entire written history, everything from the first scribbles on a clay tablet to the tweet you just sent, is only about 5,000 years old. That's only half the time we're talking about. And the reason our usual warnings are doomed to fail is actually pretty simple.
Okay, section 1, when language rots. I love that phrasing, because how does language, our most basic tool for connection, actually become the enemy here? Well, it turns out, over these huge stretches of time, language doesn't preserve a message, it just dissolves it.
Okay, check this out. The text on the left, that's English. Seriously, it's from just 1,000 years ago. It's the opening of Beowulf. And for pretty much all of us, it's complete gibberish, right? You can't read it. Now take that level of change, that decay, and multiply it by 10. What on earth could a word like danger or poison possibly mean to someone in the year 12,000 AD? Probably nothing we intend it to.
And there's a name for this process. It's called semantic drift. It's this idea that words and symbols they change over time. The skull and crossbones is the perfect example, right? It starts out as this really clear symbol for death. But now, it can mean poison, sure, but it could also mean pirates, or even just be a cool logo on a t-shirt. The point is, a warning can so easily turn into an invitation. So, that brings us to the big question, right? If words fail and symbols fail, how in the world do you communicate danger across millennia? How do you build a message that is basically impossible to misunderstand? Well, this is the central question of the super fascinating field called nuclear semiotics, basically the study of long-term warnings for nuclear waste. And this exact problem, it was tackled head-on by a team of experts in this famous study called the Sandia Report.
Next up, speaking without words. So what did they figure out? Well, they came to this absolutely brilliant conclusion. They realized the only way to solve this was to stop trying to talk to a future culture's mind and instead speak directly to their instincts, to their gut feeling.
So the goal became, how do we create a message using the one universal language we all share? And that's the language of fear. The message couldn't be words. It had to be physical. It had to be visceral. It needed to make you feel on a deep primal lizard brain level that this is a bad place, and you need to turn around and leave right now.
And that leads us to the incredible solution they came up with, a concept they called architecture of fear. And the idea is just brilliant. You shape the very land itself into a giant warning sign.
So one of the big ideas was this, the landscape of thorns. Just try to picture this, a massive field stretching for miles in every direction, just covered in these huge, sharp, concrete spikes jutting violently out of the ground. It's a landscape that looks, well, it looks wounded, it looks painful, it is fundamentally unwelcoming. It doesn't invite you in, it basically screams, go away, and threatens you.
Another take on this was something called spike fields. So imagine these huge, jagged blocks of black stone, like granite, maybe dyed black so they absorb the sunlight and get unbearably hot to the touch. And they wouldn't be in neat rows, no. They'd be arranged all irregularly, chaotically, to just create this overwhelming sense of menace and deep unease. The whole point is to make the place feel profoundly wrong, like a scar on the face of the planet.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. Whatever the design is, it has to prevent what you could call the Indiana Jones effect. It cannot look like a pyramid. It can't look like a temple or some ancient tomb that might be holding forgotten treasure. Because the second it looks mysterious or important, you failed. You've completely failed. You've just invited the exact kind of exploration you're desperately trying to stop.
Okay, next section, a message of dishonor. But let's say some incredibly intrepid or maybe just foolish person actually gets past this hostile landscape. Well, the team had a backup plan. They crafted a simple verbal message. But it's not a warning. Oh no, it's a message of profound disappointment. And the plan was to etch it in stone in every major language they could.
And this is what it says. This is not a place of honor. No highly esteemed deed is commemorated here. Nothing valued is here. I mean, this is just a masterpiece of reverse psychology. It's designed to be the ultimate letdown. See, the team realized a direct warning, like a big sign that says danger, could just be seen as a challenge, or maybe a bluff to hide something really valuable. But this message goes right for the motivation of any future explorer, the search for something valuable. It basically says, hey, you came all this way, you braved this awful place, and for what? Absolutely nothing. There's no treasure here, no lost wisdom, no glory. Just turn back. There is literally nothing here for you.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem, this central, almost unsolvable challenge they called the warning paradox. The idea is, by building some huge, permanent monument to warn people away, you might accidentally do the opposite. You might attract them by creating a giant mystery. Any attempt to communicate, no matter how scary you make it, could be misinterpreted as a challenge or a secret that needs uncovering. I mean, how do you shout "stay away" so loudly that it doesn't just sound like you're screaming "X marks the spot"?
You know, when you peel it all back, this whole challenge of nuclear semiotics, it reveals something much deeper. It's really about us, right here, right now. It's about accepting our role as the ancestors of the deep, deep future. And wow, with that role comes an absolutely incredible responsibility.
Let's be real. We're the ones who benefited from the energy, and we're the ones who created this waste. Taking care of this lethal legacy, that's our final and maybe our longest-lasting obligation from the atomic age. The danger isn't going anywhere. It's real and it's permanent. So the question that's left for us, the one we have to answer, is what message will we actually choose to leave behind?